Hey everyone, it's Emily Fox. Today's video is going to be a reorganizing video, reorganizing my bookshelves finally in my brand new library. Because if we remember, this was my background for months and months and months. This is my living room. 4 Billy bookshelves fit perfectly on that wall. It was great while it lasted. But then I realized I'm an adult. I can do what I want. So why not turn my master bedroom into a library? So that's what I did. I have never done anything like that. I've never done any DIY projects. So this was an interesting project. It took me way longer than I expected. That's why my books look like that for 2 months. I thought it was going to last 2 weeks, but 2 months. That was my bedroom, my floor. And it was urgent that things went on the bookshelves as soon as possible. So if it's not perfect, that's why I just really needed this step to happen so I could unclutter my life. This is an ongoing project. I will be reorganizing my bookshelves over time because I'm sure some of you will tell me to spread them a little bit more evenly, but my bookshelves have never been and probably will never be aesthetic.
If spring is the season that wakes me alive, and fall is the season to contemplate life, oh yeah. I don't know what is it exactly in this time of year that makes the melancholy me reappear, oh yeah. Back and forth through dark roast coffee, salt, mist and sea, sand and trees. Cause it still feels like summer, but it's soaked in nostalgia slowly. All the leaves are turning brown. Cause it still feels like summer, and I simply don't wanna see the cold wind sneak back in our town. Cause we lived when it was all bare feet, tan skin glistening beneath the heat, swirl into a bird-song beat. God, it's now so very bittersweet. So I guess I'll just put on my favorite sweater and say goodbye to summer. I keep on forgetting times learn how to fly, and before I know it, it passes me by. Oh, I don't know why when life is beautiful I start to fear it'll slip through my fingers and just disappear. Through dark roast coffee, salt, mist and sea, sand and amber trees. Cause it still feels like summer, but it's soaked in nostalgia slowly. All the leaves are turning brown. Cause it still feels like summer, and I simply don't wanna see the cold wind sneak back in our town. Cause we lived when it was all bare feet, tan skin glistening beneath the heat, evening swirl into a bird-song beat. God, it's now so very bittersweet. So I guess I'll just put on my favorite sweater and say goodbye to summer. Goodbye to summer. Slowly, all the leaves are turning brown. Cause it still feels like summer, and I simply don't wanna see the cold wind sneak back in our town. But I guess I'll just put on my favorite sweater and say goodbye to summer.
8 a.m. I couldn't fall asleep again. Been overthinking all the little things I've said. I'm sleep deprived almost every night, and I wish that I wouldn't think instead. I know the sun is up and I got things to do, but I don't think I've got the energy to move. And I go back to my dreams again, but I shouldn't be sleeping when it's daylight now and I'm stuck in my bed. Daylight now and I'm stuck in my head, 'cause I've been stressing out all on my own when I should make my way out on my own. It's daylight now, gotta open my eyes. Daylight now, can't be wasting my time. I'm just thinking about what I should be thinking of, and it's about time that I get it. Hey, stop staying in the same bed. I need a kickstart just to change this. I don't wanna waste a minute on the basics, but it's keeping me feeling so amazing. Stop going, stretch, brush my hair, always looking like a mess. Oh, and maybe I could go and do the rest. Give it a little more faith, I'll be set. And I hope that you'll miss it, 'cause it's daylight now and I'm stuck in my bed. Day and night, never feeling my best, I know, oh well, but this time will not be the same again. It's daylight now and I'm stuck in my bed. Daylight now and I'm stuck in my head, 'cause I've been stressing out all on my own when I should make my way out. It's daylight now, gotta open my eyes. Daylight now, can't be wasting my time. Just thinking about what I should be thinking of, and it's about time that I get it up.
Sound. Just give me a shout. I'm stuck, holding on, trying to let go is another song. Feels like if I did, I would do you wrong. I guess we are who we are till we're falling off. I can hear you calling. Will I hear you often? You said always if I stay in your head every day. Always on my brain, think of you. Everything always fades away, and if we do the same, always remember days like the day when we say always, always. You said always.
it works for me. There's kind of a logic behind it. I organize my books by genre. Let me know how you do it. So let me do a little tour and then we can talk about it. So ignore the setup, or actually embrace it. This is what it looks like. So these two bookshelves are actually fantasy. Again, I'm sure I could spread them a little bit more, but it's because some of the ones in the bottom I want to do part of a project of read it or unhaul it. So that's why they're there. I don't really want them on my shelf until I've read them. But I mostly organize them by what I called vibes, which I've realized over time is mostly gender. I don't know why N.K. Jemisin just does not belong next to Brent Weeks. So we have authors that I've either heard that are problematic or I will not like the books once I've read them. It is what it is. And then more series that I've been looking forward to reading. Some of them I have read, although not most of them. I want to read more fantasy over time. So this is what this looks like. A lot of the ones I have read or really want to read ASAP. My Brandy Sandy shelf. This is mostly why that I need to give a shot to, or like questionable ones. Let's not talk about it. And then just awkward sizes. The other side is, again, mostly why that I need to do a read it or unhaul it. A lot of these I have read or want to read. I'm going to do a little project next year with this one. This is a favorites, or at least have read, but mostly favorites. A lot of hard covers, which I don't own that many because I buy most of my books used, but a lot of these I want to read and a few that I have read. The middle ones are sci-fi, which I usually love. I haven't read that many this year, but I usually love them. And kind of similarly, I try to do like a favorites that is going to be the height that I put my chair in. My chair is basically going to be moving around from side to side. So favorites. So you can kind of see an inkling of what I like. Definitely a lot of favorites there. This one is a mix of I have read or really want to read. So like I really need to read these, for example, next year. So there's that. And then the bottom is, again, mostly read or the vibes didn't belong on the other one. It just works in my head. And again, more why that I need to read, with one or two exceptions that I've read. Questionable author that I'm only keeping for now until I do the video on the topic. And then more adult sci-fi. This is mostly my SF Masterworks, the classic sci-fi. This is just an edition that I think is pretty. I'm trying to do a full shelf of them. And then we continue more mostly hard sci-fi that I'm terrified of because they're giant. And then more of them-ish. In the past, I've actually tried to organize them by subgenre, like post-apocalyptic, time loops, but a lot of these I haven't read, so it's kind of hard to position them. So I think I'm going to move them around over time. And you can see I have a few empty ones. The last three, the first one, this whole one is mystery, thriller, horror. And you can see there's still some space to grow. I have Stephen King at the bottom because, frankly, I've read quite a few of his books and I didn't really love them. So I don't know if I want to read more by him, but he's very easy to find at library sales or like used bookstores, which is where I buy most of my books. So that's why I have a ton of it. Again, similarly, a lot of the ones that I've read and overall enjoyed. I tried to separate the rest with hardcover and paperback. Kind of gave up because I didn't have enough, and I don't really like facing my books. It looks really pretty when other people do it, not so much when I do it. So that's kind of how it went. I kind of tried color, kind of didn't work, but that's where we're at. So mystery, thriller, horror. We're going to come back to this one. Let's do this first because we have these three that are classics. So I wanted to put all my French classics together because, you know, French, snob. Just kidding. And then we have this one that isn't pretty. It doesn't match. We're just going to ignore it. And I kind of went with somewhat white too. So they kind of match. And then we have Jane Austen. So that's the logic behind it. This is everything else that is a classic, the big ones that didn't fit, and then everything else with some more modern classics on this side. Then we have three that are nonfiction. You saw me struggle to organize them. I didn't know what to do. I tried color coordinated. I didn't like it. So I kind of went with topics-ish. We have the sciencey one. Some of them, it's a little bit of a stretch, but they're there. Right there, it's mostly feminism-ish or related, and then didn't fit. And this one is mostly memoir and then kind of self-help-ish and then everything else. And we skip this portion because it's all the genres I don't own a ton of. I feel like I need to reorganize them so they're more like grouped together. But I tried once again to do a somewhat favorite section and then just everything else. And then, yes, historical fiction, magical realism, romance, a lot of them are there. And then this one is more YA and like children's book, although not 100%, but mostly. Oh, in the bottom, I will be putting books that I'm planning on unhauling. Recently, I started this one and put it down within the first chapter, so I'm definitely getting rid of it eventually, and I need to just put all the other books in there, and then I can do a video once a year. So like I said, this is a work in progress. I'm overall happy with the way it turned out. I think it's going to look better over time when I have time to move things around a little bit, read more of the books on my bookshelves. Totally planning on doing that next year. There's going to be a big challenge throughout the year, and I'm happy with the way it is. I know, once again, it's not the most aesthetically pleasing setup, but over time I think it's going to look really good, and I'm really happy that I have a lot of space to grow because I have a bunch of empty bookshelves plus this whole side. I have like 12 more bookshelves on here if I decide to put backs like face to face, pages to pages. So yeah, this is my quick little room tour reorganizing my bookshelves. I hope you enjoy this. I'm actually planning on doing a video very soon about all my unread books because I tend to use my library a ton, and I also get rid of the books that I've read that I didn't really care for. So I don't feel like I have a huge percentage of read books on my shelf. So if you have any questions for stats, because we're gonna count like genre-wise, which one is the worst, I'm calling it out, that's gonna be nonfiction. I'm telling you, because I just did a video about all the nonfictions that I've read this year, and out of the 30 that I read, I only own 5. And I put them all in piles in my background, and there was like 10 read ones and like 60 unread. Feel free to leave your predictions in the comment section, but specifically, like, what questions do you want to know about my bookshelves, all my unread books? I'm really curious. So like I said, there's going to be a video very soon about that. I hope you enjoyed this. Thumbs up, subscribe, and I will be putting more videos on the screen that I recommend you check out, including I did a video all about the Goodreads Choice Award that's happening right now, and like I said, the nonfiction, all the nonfictions that I've read, if you want a review about all 30, and I'll let you know which ones are worth it. And I will see you in an upcoming video very soon. Bye.